Buenas noches, man. Easily back. I'm gonna go ahead and do a part two to my review of the new Nahuatl Eastern Huasteca translator on Google Translate. Now, slowly but surely, people have been posting their own translations, and quite a few people have been very negative. You know, they say, "Oh, it's doesn't work. It doesn't work." Um, sometimes, like there was one, for example. I'll give you an example. Oh, that's interesting. Try this. No? Okay. Anyways, oh, that's what it was. Very good. Okay. So somebody posted it in one of the Facebook groups, rápidamente. They said, rápidamente, it says it's Chicago. And there were some people who were saying, oh, no, that's wrong, because Chikawak means hard. And the thing about this is the person who said that it meant hard and therefore it's wrong. I asked them, I said, what variant do you speak? And they said a variant from Guerrero. The variants from Guerrero are different from Huasteca. And so he didn't know that in Huasteca, you can say Chikawak to mean hard, and it also means fast or rapidly. So in this case, the translator is actually right. And so the person, a native speaker just didn't know Huasteca. And so that's the thing you got to understand too. Like just because somebody knows Nahuatl doesn't mean they're going to know all the intricacies of Huasteca Nahuatl. So you got to be careful with that. Unless they know Huasteca Nahuatl, I don't think, you know, you got to take their words with a grain of salt, basically, especially if they're saying, oh, it sucks. It doesn't work properly because, I mean, I've shown you that it works really good, actually, except for glitches here and there. So that's just an example. Today, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna practice putting in text like now what's the text and translating it into English, and we're gonna see how it does with that. Because, like I told you before, this is a powerful tool for those of you who are learning Huasteca Nahuatl. So if you have text available to you that you're trying to read, the question is, if we put it in here, will it translate that properly? Because if so, that will be a huge help for those of us who are learning Huasteca Nahuatl, right? And so that's what we're gonna do today. Before I move on, I just want to go back because I had put doodle here and I noticed something. It says tetic. So this is really fascinating because tetic is hard and Chikawak is also hard. So they're kind of like synonyms of each other. So both of these words are actually right. Doodle, you can say tetic or Chikawak. If you want to say fast or rapidly, you can use Chikawak. So not only did it translate that properly, but it actually translates with the synonyms of the word as well, which is pretty cool. Something else, somebody commented on my YouTube and said that tok words don't translate well in the translator. Okay, so we're gonna take a look at that and see if that's true. So I'm gonna look up some tok words here. So the person that said it was tok words, but they also mentioned emotional words. And so what I'm gonna do, I'll do this and also some emotional words to see if that's actually true. Il pitok atado, to be tied up. That was actually right. Here's another thick word. Let's see. This is to be standing. Okay, so this one's wrong. It should be to be standing. Let's see if I remove it. No. Maybe English. No. Okay, so yeah, that one's wrong. So there is some truth to that. Let me see some more here. So, okay, kuchtok is a very common word. Kuchtok, to be sleeping. Sleeping, so that one's right. Look, there's walantok means to be upset. So here are the here's what the person was talking about. They said the tok words that are emotional words like these. Many feeling words end in tok. Uh, it can mean something to be in a state of doing that thing. So kuchtok is like you're in the state of sleeping. So let's try it. We'll try walantok and see what pops up. Walantok, angry. So look, it worked, and not only did it work, but I used the Inali spelling. So I had mentioned previously in the previous video that it didn't give us an output with Inali, but if you put the input as Inali, it looks like it translates, which is really cool. And that means that it's very intelligent, right? Because the other type of spelling would have spelled it like this, Volantok. So, I mean, like I said, this is a very powerful tool. I mean, it works. Let's see this one. Olfacto, happy. Works. Olfacto is happy. Well, you know what? The only thing is, this is third person, because you can say ni olfacto, and that means I am happy. Let's see if it understands that. Okay, so it does conjugate that. And now what, if there's no prefix, then that means you're talking about the third person. So this one technically should be he or she or it is happy. So in that sense, it is inaccurate, but I mean, it's still translating the gist of it, right? So this means restless. It should be sad. Let's see what it says in Spanish. Inquieto. Let's see. Huesotoc. Oh, there you go. So if you remove the mo, huesotoc is troubled. Preocupado. Yeah, I mean, so those are kind of like sad, right? So that's good. Siatok. This one's in Inali. No, that's not right. Gritar. This is not screen. So let's see if I, because I think they use J in this place. Yeah. So that's the weird thing, like people will type something in, they say, no, it didn't work, it's wrong. But look what I did. It looks like sometimes the Inali is accepted, sometimes it's not. So that's a bit confusing. So if you, again, this is not the greatest tool for novices, right? Like if you don't know anything about Huasteca Nahuatl and you're typing this in, like you're not gonna know what's right or what's wrong, right? And so again, you got to look at a dictionary, you got to talk to somebody, ask speaker or learner, right? Teacher, because all we have to do is change this from the Inali to the J, and it's right. I'm tired. So sometimes I think it's just a matter of, like I said before, making sure the prompt is the best that it can be, you know, really being mindful about what we're typing in here. Mitch, but yeah, I like it. Okay, so I mean, it works. All these Emotional words work. It is not perfect, obviously. Like some of them need a little tweaking, but I mean they all work. And so that checks out. There is this. So there's several texts that I'm going to be using. One of them is from Facebook. Let me see if I can share that screen. Here it is. So this is a group by John Garcia. Those of you who study Huasteca Nahuatl know him well. He's in the English speaking world, he's the most prominent Huasteca Nahuatl teacher. And he published a book called Learn Nahuatl. And in this group, I noticed it's called Tla Tlahtoltapasoli, which means language nest. I noticed that there's this person who may be a native speaker, I don't know, but they're actually typing some Nahuatl, some Huasteca Nahuatl in the group. So I'm gonna click on him and I'm gonna go ahead and just paste what he's saying into the translator because it's text heavy. And that's kind of my goal here, right? So Ishtioli says your eyes, Ishtioli. Let's see what John Garcia has to say about that. Ishtioli is just I. So I think they're adding something extra here into the translation, right? For it to be your eyes, it would have to have mo in front. It'd have to have mo ishtiol, but it doesn't. And so that is an error, like a small error though, right? So, I mean, maybe what it's doing is it's looking at the text as a whole, right? And it's looking at the context because it is specifically talking about the eyes of the husband. And so maybe it's more intelligent than we think, right? And a lot of people would look at that and say, oh, that's a mistake. It doesn't have Moish Dior. But maybe there's something else going on. I don't know. Let's move forward and see how well it's translated. So it says one day, and this is pan. Pan said donatiu. Sometimes donatiu is used for day, along with tonali. So that one will work. Nikili, Nikili, this is I told my husband, no. This is actually not my husband. This is a weird error. This should be my wife, actually. No Siwa. No Siwa. No Siwa is my wife. Wife. And I don't think this is conjugated properly either. Nikili. I don't think that's I don't think it should have an H. But so there's small errors here. Like this is not right. I mean, this is maybe a big error, right? Because if you want to say my husband, it would be no way way, no way way. I told my wife one thing. Lamante means thing, sen means one. Something is actually a pretty good translation. It's actually a more natural translation than me saying one thing. I told my wife one thing. That's kind of literal. And we don't always want to translate literally, right? So in this case, something is probably the best translation. So that's pretty good. Momosla. Now, this one is not right. Momosla means every day. So that one wouldn't be right. Should be every day when I wake up. Keman. Keman means when. This means I wake up. This is and I look at myself in the mirror. So I think that's missing right here. I mean, but again, it's a pretty intelligent translator because in this context, myself, you're looking at yourself, that's kind of understood to be you're looking at yourself, right? But this specifically me mo means I'm looking at me, looking at myself in the mirror. Okay, so more literal translation would be I wake up and I look at myself in the mirror. This is the mirror. This is to. To is referring to our, so, and the deska is deska, which is correct for mirror. So again, it's not the mirror, it's our mirror. So very small errors here, but I don't know. I don't know what you all think, but to me, like I don't think they take away too much from the meaning, right? Like our mirror, the mirror, it's not too much of a difference to me. I don't know. Um, Son, I only, I just, yeah, just as good or only. Nikita, I see. Nikita, we're seeing, what are we seeing? An old person. And I'm saying I just see an old man. Usually Wewe is used for men, so the fact that it's translated as man is fine. Wewensin, because there are other words for like an old woman, like ilamatsin, for example. Ilamatsin is old woman. So Wewensin would be old man, so that's a good translation. Nigneki, I want you, Shinechili, I want you to say something. Shinechili, say one thing or say something nice. The accent is something nice. Para, and now what? There's a process in which we can use for when we're using applicative verbs or causative verbs. Like I buy this for you, right? I do this for you. Like that does exist in Nahuatl, but like a standalone for, like a standalone preposition for does not exist. And so you'll see, and Huasteca Nahuatl, a lot of times they use para in those situations. There's no verb here, right? And so that's why they're using para for Spanish. So I want you to say something nice to me. So what is the to me is actually this part, the niche. The she is a command. I want you to say something to me, something nice to me. So I mean, this is like next level translation because it's getting every single piece, right? Like it's getting the object, the subject, and that's like I said in the other video, that's the most important thing with Nahuatl. A lot of people are getting hung up on, oh my God, they made this error. It sucks. It doesn't work, right? But not realizing like it, the whole, you can look at the whole translation. Yeah, I mean it works. It's pretty good as a whole. People are just getting hung up on like, oh man, no Siwa is not husband, it's wife. Therefore, it's terrible, right? But that's not how you want to look at it because this is good. But normal my chili so that I can feel better, and quality feel better. So he's telling his wife that, right? His wife. Now his it says my mother-in-law. So I mean, obviously this is an error. I mean, I can't defend it here because it translated Nosiwa as husband, and then it translated Nosiwa as mother-in-law. And they're both wrong. Okay, so those are errors. These are errors for sure. Nosiwa again is just my wife. So let's talk about the same person. My wife said to me, again, this I don't think this is conjugated correctly. No siwa no chili, tatikpia moistion. You have an eye, you have your eye plan lawel tikiti. That works very well. You have an eye that works very well. So this is actually a joke, right? The guy says, "Hey, tell me something nice," and she says, "Yeah, your eye works really well," because basically she agrees that he looks like a Wawensi. And so, yeah, this is a joke. There are some errors, but it doesn't take away from the fact that this is a damn good translation, you know, overall. So I just realized I wasn't sharing this. Sorry about that. So let me share. This is the correct uh, text. So when I was referring to no, see what this is the error. I'm just gonna, since I didn't show it before, I'm just gonna I'll mark an X on everything that's wrong so that we can see it. No siwa should not be husband. No siwa here should not be my mother-in-law, right? And so it should be my wife. And that's pretty much it. I mean, if you look at everything else, oh yeah, this also is not your eyes, it's the eyes. But other than that, everything else, oh, this one also, most time means every day, sometimes. Okay, so everything is actually, I mean, you could read it and know, you can understand the joke just by reading it, right? Might be a little confused if you don't really understand that one, but I mean, that one overall is pretty good. So let's go on to the next text. I have some text here from Learn Now What, book from uh Juan Garcia that I mentioned before. This one we have English translations, so we can look at that. It says a Vuelta would have been in a tunnel nearby. Let's see. One time we reached a tunnel there close by. So this one, no. I don't know what the problem is here. Yeah. So the inali spelling does kind of get in the way of the translation. Not major. One time we reached a tunnel there close by. That's about the time there was a tunnel close by. So I think some of these the inali spellings here. So see if we change it from Anelli to the J's. One time we reached tunnel nearby, it has the correct translation. So you see, like a lot of people again are saying, "Oh, this is wrong," without realizing, like, "Hey, you got to work it a little bit." You know, it's gotta you gotta look at it and see what is the problem. And once you fix the spelling, we didn't go in because there were the neck wave from thick one. Okay, we didn't go in because there were those bees that sting. So let's see if we can fix that. The bees that sting. Mm. This is Tekwa. Bees. See, like weed scene. Like weed scene. Let's try weed scene. See, I think this W is the problem here. No. Okay. Um, The animals, it just does not translate animals very well. I don't know. I've been sending feedback. I sent feedback yesterday for cats. I don't know if it fixed it, but I'll check it a little bit. Yeah, the animals don't translate well, unfortunately, so forget about that. Other than that, I think it's pretty fine. Let's see this one. Aleki said Tlacat, Ashkana, Pipiyaya, Tomin, Se Campesino, pues. He was a man without money, a peasant then. Yeah, this is good. Ashkana, Pipiyaya. You can also write this as Ash Pipiyaya, which would translate as a poor man. That's interesting. But more literally, it does make sense. This is he was a man without money. Ashkana Kipiyaya. He did not have money. This is actually a really good translation. Once again, it's in Inali. I think a rule of thumb that we can use moving forward is if it doesn't have like the H and the W in between, like the other words had, it seems to translate it pretty well. So if you're using text, if it has an H or W, or like the glottal stop, then you can just go ahead and put in a J, and that most of the time fixes the problem. Kipalewi no pa persona kipishki miak tomani. It helped the person made a lot of money. Um, this is help the person, help this person. This is he had a lot of money. He had a lot. But I think in the context, maybe it's saying he helped the person by giving him a lot of money. And so again, this translation is very, very, very intuitive. I think it kind of has something built into it where it's trying to figure out the gist of the story, like the totality of it, right? And it's trying to make the translation as natural as possible, which is really good. This is probably not going to translate because michin is fish and it does not translate animals. Yeah, it translated michin as little one, but that should be fish. The fish are fleeing. So that one did not translate. No, this is not. This is from a book by Crispin Martinez Rosas. Se llama Taramequilisli in el Guayo. So again, this is a native speaker. Writing in Nahuatl. Was honest, honestly, good luck. Our company will take you. No, that one doesn't actually work. Meets Weekas. Oh, well, yeah, Meets Weekas will take Amo. Our company won't take you. This is not our company, the Wally. Good. Shmoketsa, get up. We won't take you. We won't take you to. This should be Kilia. This is said John. Okay, so you this has to have an H. It doesn't have an H. So I think the glottal stop matters. And this translator, a lot of times it's like this, right? But again, it's recognizing an Ali. That's a really good thing. Nokia Nesi Nalwei. This is not a good translation. Nokia is also it appeared great or large or big. So that's not good, but Yes, I have a strong body. Genetic ni no tepo. So we saw tetic earlier. It's strong. You know, a lot of times you use tetic for this situation. Like if your body is strong, you're very muscular or whatever. You can say genetic. I have a very strong body. Tepo. I haven't heard tepo. Let's see. If tepo means body. Oh, they're talking about his penis. Actually, tepoli. That's crazy. Okay. Yeah. So yes, I have a very strong penis in this case. So it didn't translate the vulgar. The vulgar. There's also other vulgar words. Let's see if it translates. Like you can say tlahuel tiwiwi. That means you're an idiot. Tlahuel tiwiwi. And it says too slow. So it didn't translate it exactly, but kind of sorta, right? Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what to make of this, but like some text it translates very well. Like this other guy on Facebook, man, they translated his very well. Let's see if I can find another passage from him. Maybe it has to do with the particular variation as well, because this novel is probably a different variation than the other guy speaking. I don't know. So I mean, it translated John Garcia's text pretty well as well. This guy uses chene, which is more of like a central. So it is possible that maybe he speaks Western Huasteca, and the Google Translator is specifically Eastern. In fact, I think he mentions it at the back here. Turn Veracruz. Oh, yeah. Well, Veracruz, he taught in Veracruz, but he mentions Hidalgo. I mean, it says that he was born in Veracruz, Chicontepec, which would be Eastern Huasteca for sure, but he does mention he spent some time in Hidalgo. Hidalgo is Western Huasteca. So maybe sometimes what happens is when you're coming to contact with a different type of variant, you know, you kind of start to speak in that variant. And so maybe that's what's happening. But overall, pretty good. This is another one from that website, from the Facebook group. It says the best pig, Pisotlen Lawil Kuali. This means like the pig that's very good. But maybe in the context that like reading the story, it's talking about it's the best pig. Let's see. Um, Shlomo Kwaktoya, Miak Shia. I haven't been there in many years. One day, Pansetonatu, Nisa Iloa Yaya. I said I was talking to my neighbor Wanya with Nokalnechka, the neighbor next to me. Yeah, that's good. Glenn Nikish Matiyaya Nochi no Nemelis. I've known all my life. I mean, this is really good. This is a really good translation. Keman needs Toya when I was at his house. Ichan Nitlachiliaya. I looked around. Pan in his house. Ichan one. Ni gets sticky se pizzo. So it is translating pig correctly. Pizzo is the word for pig. Huawei, it's translating correctly as well. So yeah, I mean, just based on these 3 or 4 texts that I put in, I mean, it's working really well. Let me see if I can find a different page of this book. I can't believe that I went to the most vulgar page randomly. Let's see. Um, okay, this one. This one seems pretty straightforward. Let's see what this says. Papanos, con it, child. Papanos. I don't know what papanos is. Okay. Papanodilia to pass something. Maybe like it's past child. The parents don't know what they're doing. No pa tetame, ashkimati, blanquichiwa. That's good. They don't know what they're doing. The ipan is after you're done. Mexelice, nochi moguatialis. They'll be ready. Everything will be ready. Nochi does mean everything. I'm assuming this is right. Guatlalia is the word. Let's check John Garcia. Guatlalia. I don't know. That seems right. Then you see Teipan, then you will see, right? Anything, sir? Atlak. So this page is it's translating a little better. Could it be? Atlak is could it be? He's saying anything, sir. Could it be, sir? Anything, sir? I don't know. Maybe that's good enough. So I mean, this page it's actually translating a little better. So maybe it's just that one part that I had some difficulty with. I would go to Pepe. Yeah, Toskia. Yeah, Toskia means I would go. That is right. Anya. And this is and I would go to Pepe or with Pepe. Yeah, Ashkaman ma Mokosoa, he never complains. Poltitok. Poltitok is actually like okay, but I guess well makes sense. Niwelis na nemilis. This can be my life. This could be my life. I must be nice. This is Moneki. Oh, okay. This one I have to fix anger. I think this is the only one that's wrong. Everything else seems good. Yeah, everything else seems good. Moneki means needs, needs to do that thing. I don't know what this verb is, so I'm not sure. I have a different dictionary that might help us. Yeah. So this is a verb. Queman o cuartializa. Let's see if I can put this in and see what it says. Prove quality. Yeah. That quality in the middle does make it seem like it's something like make something better. Yeah, Mati. So yeah, I think the translation does work as a result. Fix, make something better, right? Igual, igual So, I mean, overall, it's good. The other day it didn't. Here are some animals. Let's see. Let's see how it does with these animals. Mechtam quechis, mochichis, afraid of dogs. Tate, Sati, the dog barked. The unseen. So it's missing this whole thing here. I don't know why. So I don't know. This particular book, it doesn't seem to like much, but the other, the others were good. Maybe again, it could be a variation. It could be like how it's spelled, maybe, like I told you earlier. Um, like it prefers J's here, right? Instead of the H. So it could be what's happening here. Okay. But yeah, I mean, it does a really serviceable job translating text overall. So I would say it's pretty good in that regard. But again, it does make several errors, which and most of the times it does not interfere with the overall meaning of the text. So that's my assessment of it. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any questions. Tlaxcamati,